Hi guys, welcome back to Cara's Kitchen Cooking. It's the weekend. I love weekends, and we are making another scrumptious brunch, a gluten-free sourdough French toast stuffed with dairy-free cream cheese and pecans and covered with a unctuous blueberry sauce. Yum. Okay, so we're gonna start with our cream cheese stuffing. Yum. Grab your favorite dairy-free cream cheese. Today I'm going to be using the Tofutti brand, but also Daiya has a great one. There's a lots on the market, so grab what you can find. If you're not dairy-free, feel free to use regular cream cheese. It'll all taste fantastic. I like to take my cream cheese, whether it's dairy-free or regular, out and have it kind of get to room temperature. It does have a different consistency than dairy. As you can see, it's a little bit, it's just different. And if you forget to take it out, there's no worries, guys. It'll still come together, okay? So I'm just gonna put this entire container in my bowl, okay? All right. Now, I like to whiz that around a bit before I add anything else, just to kind of get it smooth, all right? So, taking my trusty blender, hand mixer here, and I'm gonna turn it on. See, it's come together pretty well. Can you zoom in on that, Dustin? It's pretty creamy. Okay. Now, from here, I am going to add a 1/4 cup of chopped pecans. You can add more, you could add less. Again, measure with your heart. In go the pecans. I'm gonna just take my little spoon here because it is actually quite smooth, so I don't think I need to use my hand mixer again. So we're just combining that. Oh my goodness. I like to add the pecans because I find it gives a nice texture. I love texture in my food, smooth and crunchy, and then salt and sweet and savory, all of those things work together. Okay, so we have the cream cheese and pecans. Now what we're going to want to do, let me move this over, is I'm going to, I like to add a little lemon zest. I find especially with non-dairy cream cheese, it needs a little help. The regular dairy-free has more tang, and so what I like to do with my dairy-free cream cheese is I like to add a little lemon zest and a little lemon juice in it, okay? So we're just going to cut our lemon. Again, grabbing my handy dandy dollar store juicer. All right, so I'm gonna start with half of a lemon, and then I'll just taste it, okay? Because sometimes I find some lemons have a bit more sourness, and some lemons also give more juice than others. So this is about, this was the size of my lemon, so that's why I'm not going to give you an exact measurement on that, because you should always be tasting your food, guys, as you go, because that way you can adjust if you need more sugar, if you need more lemon juice, if you need more pepper or salt. So we're going to mix that up really well. Okay, and then I'm going to just grab a spoon here and just give it a little taste test. You know what? That needs more lemon juice, in my opinion. So we're gonna squeeze the other lemon, or juice the other lemon. Okay. Actually, I'm not putting all of it. I'm holding back a little bit because I'm gonna taste it again. Get another spoon. Now, technically, I could use the same spoon, guys, because it's my kitchen and it's only me and Justin eating this. But pro chefs and other people in cooking shows tend to use new clean spoons, and I totally get it. It's about keeping things clean, and so. Okay, now that's tasting much better. You know what? I don't think I'm going to put the lemon zest in it. Yeah, I think it's really lemony, and it has a nice balance right now. So I will save these because I can I'll wrap them up in some cellophane, and I can always use them in another dish. I try not to waste anything. Okay, so now I also try and clean as I go. So there's less to do at the end. All right, now I'm going to add a little sweetness. I know we just added lemon, but that was kind of to bump up the cream cheese kind of flavor that we're used to. So at this point, you could add a couple tablespoons of icing sugar, or you could add a little bit of maple syrup. So you choose your own route here. I am going to add a touch of maple syrup because I love maple syrup. So I'm just going to, again, we're measuring with our heart here, guys. That's probably about a tablespoon. Okay. And we're just going to mix that together. Oh my goodness. This is so good. I guess the powdered sugar, though, would probably give you a little bit more, make it a little thicker. I mean, we did add quite a bit of lemon juice here, so it's a little thinned out a bit, but that's okay. All right, so I think that's good. I'm gonna do one more. One more test. One more spoon. Next time I'll have a bunch of spoons lined up to use. Okay, here we go. That's really good, but you know what? It needs more maple syrup. But I don't want it to get too thin. So I think I am going to grab a little bit of powdered sugar because because I don't want to get it too runny. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've grabbed my powdered sugar. I'm going to start with a tablespoon of it. So guys, with these recipes, it's all about pivoting sometimes, you know, like I noticed that my cream cheese was getting too watery and it needed a bit more sugar and I didn't want to add more maple syrup. So I'm like, what can I do? I know I can add some powdered sugar. Things weren't always going to go perfect in the kitchen. And it's about just kind of keeping your cool, going with the flow and being like, okay, all is not lost. What can I do to fix it? So here we go. Tablespoon. And yeah, I think I'm going to do I'm going to taste it, but I think it probably needs at least another tablespoon. Good rounded one. Okay. Okay, for me, that has the perfect balance of the tart and the sweet. And I got a bit of pecan that time. It's gonna be fantastic. Look at how creamy and luscious it looks, guys. Oh my God, this is gonna taste so good. The next step we're gonna put this aside and we are gonna make up our batter for the French toast. So we are going to be using an egg substitute for this. So actually, technically, this is a vegan recipe, not just a vegetarian and dairy-free and gluten-free, but also vegan. I can't have egg whites, so I use a substitute called Just Egg. It's liquid, it's wonderful for French toast, and it makes excellent scrambled eggs as well. If you are not dairy-free, if you can use real eggs, the recipe, then you would use 2 eggs at this point. So for the Just Egg substitute, I am going to be putting in a cup of Just Egg into the bowl. Now, this will make, we find that it makes 4 pieces of bread. It'll do 4 pieces of bread. So for a family, if you're using the Just Egg, you would double this, okay? All right, next to that, I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of almond milk. Here you could use soy or oat or any other dairy-free milk you like. If you're using regular milk, at this point you would want to be using a cup of regular milk. Then we're going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. I love cinnamon in French toast. Not everybody does, so leave it out if you don't want any. And then we are having this was a tablespoon of sugar, and it goes. You don't have to use sugar. You could use maple syrup. Next, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. I have Madagascar vanilla, but guys, use the vanilla you have in the house, okay? Great. All right, all of our ingredients are in, and now we're going to take our whisk and whisk it up. You just want to combine it. Next, you want to grab something to put the batter in. So I try and choose something that fits my bread and isn't too big, so there's the concentration of liquid is denser. So here we go. Pouring all the liquid. Let me just grab a spatula. Okay, so I get every little last bit out. Okay, so this is our homemade gluten-free sourdough bread. It's definitely denser than regular bread, kind of spongy. Normally when I use it for toast, I'll put it in the oven and toast it first. Even if I'm making a sandwich, I just find gluten-free bread has a different texture. So it's denser. So what I like to do with my bread is I take it and I put a bunch of holes in it with my fork. I just find that it helps the bread to absorb more of the egg mixture. And I just flip it over and do a couple on this side. Okay, so we have prepped the batter and we've prepped the bread. And I like to do that beforehand, before I even start the sauce, because that way it's done, I'm not rushing, and I don't feel frantic. So follow me over to the stove and we're gonna start the blueberry sauce. Okay, so we're gonna be making the blueberry sauce, my favorite part. Although the cream cheese is also my favorite part. So I think the whole thing is my favorite. All right, so I have a cup measurement and I'm using frozen blueberries. We always have frozen fruit in the freezer, so use what you have on hand. Okay, so you could use fresh here, and I believe if you use fresh, I would double it, or like do a cup and a half maybe. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, you see there just now. Cup of blueberries. Actually, let me do it over the bowl in case something falls out, it doesn't go on the floor. All right, so a cup of blueberries. Again, this is just for Justin and I, so I think that's the perfect amount. And instead of using sugar at this point to bump up the flavor, I am using blueberry jam. It's homemade. Gertie Party, shout out to Gertie Party, Newfoundland. My best friend Jana often will give me Gertie's jams. I always use homemade jam. And these are wild blueberries from Newfoundland. So there's already some sugar in this. So instead of adding sugar from my place, I'm gonna add this luscious, look at how beautiful this jam is. These blueberries are hand-picked, guys. Hand-picked by Gertie Party. Love you, Gertie. Thanks for the jam. I also like strawberry. All right, so we're gonna put, again, I'm measuring with my heart here. I'm not gonna put the whole container of this because I wanna be able to put this on toast tomorrow. So we're just putting a couple spoonfuls in here to accentuate the frozen blueberry flavor. So I'm just gonna mix it around. Okay, oh, and I'm gonna turn on my burner. I'm gonna put it to about a 5, or not, about a 6, yeah. And then once it starts bubbling, I'll turn that down. Okay guys, so the frozen blueberries are going to release some water so while you're cooking them. So if you're using fresh blueberries, I would suggest maybe adding like a 1/4 cup of water to them, just so you have just to help it along in terms of the sauce part. Okay, so we've prepped our batter and our bread. We've started our blueberry sauce. Now we're going to turn our heat on our pan. I've learned in the past that if you put it on too high, what ends up happening is that the bread gets kind of seared, almost overcooked, and then the insides is way too gooey. So I would suggest putting it on a lower heat and keeping it at that steady temperature. So I'm going to put my oven to, I'd say like a 4 or like even a 3.5. And I would just let that get up to temperature really well before putting in our bread. Okay, so we're gonna put our bread in. And I'm lucky. My container just fits both pieces of bread excellently. So we're going to push that down, cover all the pieces. So with gluten-free bread, because that has a different texture and it's a bit more dense, I find I tend to let my bread soak a little longer in the batter, okay? So it's been soaking. We're gonna just turn it over gently here. All right, get the other piece. Okay. Okay, so guys, the sizzle on this, can you see Justin bring it on in? Yeah. It's not gonna be as dramatic as when I made the salmon because the pan is not as hot. So I'm gonna make sure, yeah, we're still at about like a 3.5. All right, so this is where you use your butter. So you can use a vegan butter. Earth Balance has a great butter. It has I find the best buttery taste I've tried so far in terms of vegan butter. So we're gonna put some butter, and we are also gonna add a little bit of avocado oil. I like doing the mix because I find the butter gives the flavor and the olive oil, and then the butter also helps to kind of keep things from getting too toasty. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with like a pat of butter. Okay, so you know what? I think my pan is a bit too hot right now, so I'm gonna turn it down. Oops, there goes the butter. I'm gonna turn this down to about a 3, guys, because honestly, I really don't want that French toast to burn. I'm just going to add a very small amount of avocado oil because, again, avocado oil has a high smoking point, and the butter is not as high. I'm just going to swoosh it around to mix those two things together. Oh my goodness. Yum. Okay, going over and getting the French toast. All right, let's see if we can put this in. Yes. I would suggest using a spatula because I find sometimes when your bread gets soaked with all the goodness. Oh, yeah. Okay, guys, so this has been cooking for about 2 to 3 minutes. Look how beautiful and golden it is. Now, you may find that your toast cooks faster, depending on everyone's oven is slightly different and depending on what kind of pan you're using. So I would suggest just kind of checking, just lifting it up and seeing where you're at until you kind of figure out, you know, your sweet spot for your temperature, okay? So our French toast is done. It's over here. Look how golden and beautiful it looks. I like to cut them before I put the filling because I find from experience when I've put the filling and then cut, everything smears out. And it doesn't look as pretty. And you know, I like things to look pretty because it tastes better when it looks pretty, right? Okay, so we have our plate and we're gonna place our bread here, 2 pieces. And we're gonna get our beautiful cream cheese filling. Oh my goodness, guys. So we're gonna put a generous dollop. And if it goes and oozes out the sides, that's okay. It'll still taste good. All right, so we're gonna put that like that. And then take another piece. All right, so I just wanna show you what this looks like. So this is our yummy, it's a bit melty, but that is okay. The ooey gooey goodness is gonna be awesome. All right, now I'm gonna go get my blueberry sauce. Now Justin gets really hungry making these videos. Good thing we eat after, huh? So then you just spoon, like, look at guys. Oh, blueberry goodness, blueberry goodness. Now, to make this even look a little bit prettier, and it also adds a little bit of flavor, is I'm taking a little bit of powdered sugar, and I'm just gonna tap it over. You know, you can put a little extra on the plate there. Now, who needs to go and eat at a restaurant for brunch? I mean, come on. You can make this beautiful dish at home. Now, I made some bacon, and I'm gonna add that to my plate because I love bacon. Okay, guys, here it is. Gluten-free sourdough French toast stuffed with a dairy-free cream cheese with pecans inside, homemade blueberry sauce, and bacon. Try it.